Audio Jungle.
Good day everyone, I am Gionol, a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English student. And I will be your reporter for today. And my topic is all about Synectics method. The sequence of my report is first, I will introduce to you the meaning or what is Synectics methods. Then after, I will going to discuss to you the four metaphoric form of Synectics method. And last, what are those advantages and disadvantages of this method? What is Synectics method? Synectics is an instructional model designed to activate students' creativity and help them to see old ideas in new ways through employing various forms of metaphoric thinking to activate generative thinking. The term synectics is from the Greek word synectikos, which means bringing different things forth together or bringing different things into unified connection. To create a safe environment for all the students, the synectics method can be introduced through a class brainstorming activity that set the tone for smaller group and individual activities designed to help the students to learn in more creative and fun way. So deeper thinking, viewing all things from a new perspective, and class dialogue are just a few of benefits of these methods. By using the four metaphoric forms of synectics, teacher can turn the boring or complicated subject or concept into something creative and interesting. So, what are those metaphoric forms? Form number 1, direct analogy. The teacher identifies the concept to be explored by creating a direct analogy. For example, learning is a circus. The teacher invites the student to think of characteristics for each. And the second metaphorical form is the personal analogy. Although some students may find this step challenging at first, this is where students' creativity is ignited and birthed by becoming the conceptual object and analog. For example, learning. I feel shunned and very unappreciated at times. Circus. I felt excited because I am the life of the party. So these examples state that group sharing and class dialogue is also a benefits. Form number 3, analog contrast. In this activity, the student compare and contrast the analog and conceptual object. Again, other opportunity for student to express their various creative and different thoughts. For example, learning is not like a circus. Why? Because it is not always entertaining and exciting. And the last form is new analogy. Students have pressure of creating their own analogy or group analogy. Being the last step of these methods, students are likely to be excited about presenting their new idea to the classroom. For example, learning is like a box of chocolates. As a side note, teacher can also glean from their view of analogies to use for the future classes.
Direct analogy are the simplest type of comparison in which similarities between two ideas are examined. In a direct analogy, individuals look for a parallel between one idea, object, or situation and another. Personal analogies are based on the thought of students by personally putting themselves in a place of a particular concept, principle, person, or object, and making the analogy in this way. during the process of comparison that are planned too. And when we see analog contrast, is something that shows how two things are alike, but with the ultimate goals of making a point about this comparison, while new analogy is creating a new own idea in relation to analog. Advantages. Number 1. Accurate definition of the problem. Therefore, problem is fully understood before the final solution is provided. Number 2. Encourages the ability to live with complicity and apparent contradiction. Number 3. Mobilizes both sides of the brain, the right brain, the dreamer, and the left brain, the reasoner. Number 4. Provides a free thinking state of consciousness, strengthen new thoughts, ideas, and inventions. These advantages. Number 1. The process might be time-taking. Number 2. The user has to be very focused during the whole process. Number 3. For good results, participants have to be able and in a good mood to fantasize. Number 4. Much efforts requires from the leader of the group to keep the discussion in flow, formulate the initial problem and the desired outcome.
And that was the advantages and disadvantages of synectic methods. And always remember that there are 4 metaphoric forms of synectic methods. And these are the direct analogy, personal analogy, analog contrast, and new analogy. So that is all my report for today. I hope you've learned something from me. Again, I am Gionol, signing off.